And on the penultimate week of Minor League Esports, we look now to Utopia Coliseum for some wonderful action. It's week 11, and we are kicking things off strong. Hello, my name is Fallen, and I am joined by a person who I have never had the privilege of casting with, but one I am looking forward to casting with for many, many times in the future. It is the one, the only inanimate Jay.
Fresh off the longest hiatus of my career, in the sense of probably about 3 or 4 weeks' time, but it feels good to get back in the saddle. It feels good to get back in the action and starting things off at the top of the league in terms of skill. Fallen, it's the Premier League kicking things off here for week 11.
Yeah, we have the Hurricanes versus the Blizzard, a Storm Division matchup that has so many playoff implications. The Blizzard fielding Duke and their reserve Ed for this matchup, whilst the Hurricanes are bringing out the big boys. Chimpanjay and Test Gravity on the field. Both teams looking to cement themselves in playoff places, and with the Hurricanes in the position that they are, they only need to take 2-game wins in this series and they will secure their place and eliminate the Blizzard from playoff contention. So much that the Blizzard have to do to get something out of this series that could even give them a chance to go to the playoffs. Do you think they've got what it takes?
It is a tough ask, especially against the Hurricanes' leading player in Test Gravity, leading every category on the leaderboards for the team, bar a few. I think the key for this one might be Dukinator, might have to come up big with a little more physical play, leading the Blizzard in demos, albeit only 1.3 per game average. Maybe bringing that up, maybe disrupting Test Gravity and Chimpanjay's ability to find a rhythm as a team might be the key for the Blizzard to come out of this one.
But the last time these two teams met off at the beginning of the season, the Blizzard suffered a 4-1 defeat to the Hurricanes, and the only way they can keep themselves in playoff contentions is with a 4-1 win to repeat or to reverse the fixture result from previous. As we look to get the players ready for game number 1, I'm going to throw a prediction at you. I think the Hurricanes take this one the same way they took it last time, 4-1 victory. What are your thoughts?
Everyone loves an underdog story. If the Blizzard can maybe get the first couple of games, it might roll a little bit in their favor, but it is going to be, as we said, a very tough ask here up against a very skilled twos roster.
And off of the kickoff immediately, the Hurricanes will take a very, very early advantage. Chimpanjay off the crossbar and in. The Hurricanes have a goal in 5 seconds.
Ed just drifting a little bit too far out to challenge that ball. Didn't quite get the read coming off of the sideboard as well. Jay had that the whole way. Just found enough space to get that tipped over top. And the Blizzard off to not the start that they want. Down a goal 5 seconds in, knowing that there's so much on the line here. Might be 2. As another attempt by Jay gets tipped away. That one open in front. Duke and Nader will come across to clear it away. Still Test Gravity and Jay, both of them controlling the midfield well here, as a long one by Jay will get tipped away by Duke. And this is what we expected, Fallen. A lot of fluid play between the Hurricanes. The Blizzard really just trying to find a way to react to it.
Yeah, limited boost in the case of Duke there. Couldn't really do much with it. And Chimpanjay almost teed up Test Gravity for that shot, but he couldn't direct it in off of the bar. Now the Blizzard looking to try and get some midfield presence. Will find their way past one. We'll look to try and get this one in front of net, and we'll get it up above, but Test Gravity is the first one there, and we'll dive in and take it away from the front of the net. No real offensive opening there for the Blizzard, but they are working at it now, and they're starting to get a little bit more of a 50-50 presence on the field right now.
I think the important thing was not giving up the second goal quickly as well. It does so much for the mental state of players when you get that far behind that early. Yes, there's a lot of time to come back, but it's still a lot to do. But speaking of a lot to do, the Blizzard caught again at midfield. Test Gravity on the tee-up play from Jay makes it 2-0.
Ed with the late challenge there, and Chimpanjay just making Duke back up, and then Test Gravity takes it over the top of him. Didn't really need it to do much there to put that one away, but the Hurricanes just looking so fluid off of the gate. It's the worst case scenario for the Blizzard. They needed to come out strong, and right now they are playing second fiddle to what is practically an A lineup of A lineups in Premier League.
This is really the type of roster for the Hurricanes that you looked at the draft and went, yeah, that roster is pretty good. And we're seeing already a lot of the reasons why. They are fluid. They're also kind of in each other's head in the sense that they're able to read what one another is doing very, very effectively. The Blizzard, for the most part, they have to kind of sit back and wait for the openings to try and convert this one, but they need to not give up the ball at midfield. It's exactly what happens. Test Gravity with a walk-in makes it 3-0.
Yeah, right there, just a quick turn, quick challenge, and even with the bump from Eddie, just wasn't keeping him away from that ball. No rotation back there from Duke and just couldn't get there in time. 3 goals already in favor of the Hurricanes, and we spoke about the possibility that this could be quite a rout to start things off here, but the Blizzard, they've shown a little bit of promise, and with this goal here, they'll bring it within 2.
They need to keep this midfield presence going here. They get both Hurricanes players to bite on that one off the kickoff. Ed with a great ball to himself, coming off the backboard on that one. Knows there's nothing but net to shoot at, and that's where the openings are going to be. The Hurricanes are looking for these fluid 1-2 type plays, and if you could read those effectively, if you can cut those out and get that ball upfield with a little bit of pace, the Hurricanes look a little bit lackluster coming back, almost as if they know that they're beat, they're willing to give up that goal, and they're just going to try and bring it back when they can score further after the kickoff.
Yeah, the Hurricanes playing a very high offense style of play as Test Gravity almost finds a way to double that one in, but very fortunate there for the Blizzard that he could not find that angle, but the midfield chokehold being applied now. Jay will look to center that one, almost hit at the near post. Duke bites on that, can't find the touch. It will be Ed to try and take this one away. Looks to try and carry it past one, but again, Test Gravity is there. Consistent. A little bit of a misrotation there from Jay, though. Almost opened up the net for Duke. Good save on the rotation back, though, and now the Hurricanes straight back on the offense. Almost a quick 1-2 pass for the goal. 2 minutes 15 to go. It has been a majorly one-sided affair so far in game number 1, but easily could flip back in favor of the Blizzard if they're able to get a little bit of control.
It could, and here's an opportunity here. The Hurricanes forced into a tough spot. Duke's shot just tipped off the crossbar by the challenge of Test Gravity. I think for the Hurricanes, the key right now is just play control. Don't get yourself into spots where the Blizzard can beat you easily, as that one, another midfield press by Jay, just going off the crossbar. The Blizzard running out of boost here, and I think this is the danger fall, and if they get both beat by one player, there's a tough ask for them to come back. It's Jay with a couple of touches to make it 4-1.
Jay with the impeccable car control there, the incredible ball control as well. His pace is phenomenal. He is definitely one of the best players that has ever graced Premier League in any version of Premier League's existence, whether it be the Premier League from last few seasons or this one. He has always been known as one of the mechanically gifted players that will be the difference maker in a 1v1 situation, and right now he's proving exactly why they are, despite being a very good team, only number 2 currently in the division, beaten out by the Eclipse currently in series record. But of course that is all about to change if they can pick up a big 5-0 win here today.
Well, last week's battle against the Eclipse on stream not really doing them a lot of favors for trying to win the division, so you figure the Hurricanes coming into this one with a little bit to prove, if you ask me. And I think right now against the Blizzard roster that is struggling to make the playoffs, struggling in this game at least to find a little bit of rhythm, as Test Gravity will make it 5-1. This is the opportunity for the Hurricanes to make a statement here. They can make the playoffs with this result. They can put all doubts of whether or not they'll be in the postseason out of mind. Test Gravity with one more from the parking lot and from beyond the grave too, making it 6-1. But again, statement game fall. This is what they need. They need to put themselves in the playoffs and just make next week not matter.
Yeah, and right now they are doing everything and more to do that. Both of the players for the Hurricanes have found themselves in the top 10s for one reason or another this season. Test Gravity majorly, he's 3rd currently in the goals scoreline, in the goals overall leaderboard for Premier League. He is currently 10th in the saves. He's also 3rd in the assists, but Duke will find the back of the net here to make it a slightly more respectable scoreline at 6-2.
This is what the Blizzard need to do really well going forward in this series. They need to make sure they can get through that first challenge, because I've noticed for the Hurricanes there's just a little bit of a lack of impetus to come back defensively. They're willing to let the Blizzard kind of get through that first challenge, and if the Blizzard do that effectively, there's opportunities to score goals because one player just will abandon the play a little bit, trusting their teammate to get a recovery. That's where the big vulnerabilities lie.
Yeah, one of the things also that separates the Hurricanes from most other Premier League teams is maybe the lack of chemistry at times. They rely on their individual skill a little bit more than team players. And really, whilst they all respect each other, as Ed will sink that one in under the crossbar to make it 6-3 now, really they've over-relied on it at times this season, and it has cost them in their series against the Eclipse. And now, really, it's giving the Blizzard a couple of goals here.
And think about it this way: if this game hadn't gotten out of hand for the Hurricanes as quickly as it did, we could be talking about a very different story here, as the Blizzard get a couple back and might have themselves a game won, instead of, you know, trying to salvage a little bit of face and look for things that they can take advantage of in games 2, 3, 4, and 5 of this set.
Yeah, and as we now come to the very end of game number 1, the Hurricanes will take it 6-3. They will move within a game of securing the playoff spot for this season and earning their place alongside the Eclipse, who have already secured it before this game. There's already so much to play for the Blizzard now. They cannot afford to lose again, otherwise that's playoffs over.
Yeah, they need to come out a little bit stronger in game 2 than they did off of the kickoff in game 1 here. Chimpanzee getting that early goal that kind of set the tone for this one. They really had the better of the chances for the first 3 minutes of game 1, but once that, they kind of took that foot off the gas pedal, and I worry for the Hurricanes if that might be a trend. If they don't put the Blizzard away, then there's still a chance. The Blizzard do have enough quality in them to find a way through if the Hurricanes just don't keep themselves about this game.
Yeah, and a good showing from Ed in that back half as well, considering this is his first series this season, coming in as a reserve in place of either Yeezy or Matty Bananas for the Blizzard. I'm not really sure exactly who he's replacing, but coming alongside Duke, who is not the strongest player on the team by any stretch of the imagination, but a good player nonetheless. He's doing a good job to show that maybe this is someone to look forward to improving upon themselves and looking a lot stronger as the next season comes in, and as the end of this season comes about.
Yeah, there's still lots of time left to improve as a player, despite there not being a ton of matches left in the off-season. Always a great time to kind of reset and think about the game differently and be able to move forward and go find a new lease on Rocket League at times. And for the Blizzard here, everything left on the line, Fallen. Game 2 kicking off as the Blizzard need every last win out of this set.
They're looking to start off strong here. Duke with it. Oh, that one almost found his way to its back of the net. Did not find its way under the crossbar though, and now Test Gravity. They're going to try and take this one alone, but a good challenge from Duke will take the ball away from him. Maybe looked for a bump there onto Jay, couldn't find it, and another shot from Test Gravity will test Ed this time. The Hurricanes looking to pick up the pace, keep the pressure going. Here comes Jay, but another good defensive touch from Ed to keep that one away, and Duke will send it into the Hurricanes half. A very tense 30 seconds there for the Blizzard, but no goals yet for the Hurricanes, no goals for the Blizzard either. It is a stalemate to start things off.
Here's an opportunity, though, for the Blizzard, as Test Gravity and Jay both kind of contesting their own space, getting really close to one another here. And we talked about this a little bit, Fallen. This is the opportunity that the Blizzard need to try and find at least something on, where the Hurricanes get a little bit caught up in doing their own thing as individuals. They kind of lose their spacing as a team, and it gives the Blizzard, if their rotations are sound, a big chance to try and convert into something offensively.
Yeah, when you have two players that are so individually focused as Test Gravity and Jay, it's not a bad thing until they start having to mesh on the field. It's very hard for two players that have that level of confidence in their own abilities to think that they can maybe at times 1v2 a team. Basically all by themselves. They don't really look for a teammate to be a consistent aspect of their play. And now, with 1 minute and 30 gone, here's an opportunity for Test Gravity. That one's off the bar and out, and Chimpanzee's follow-up will be saved away by Ed. But Hurricanes are applying pressure, but there's a counter-attacking opportunity just wide of the net. I believe that was Duke who took that shot. Could not find the angle, could not find the positioning, and now almost made to pay, my apologies, for that attacking mistake.
Seeing two big differences in the Blizzard so far on this game already. One, the physical game is coming up for them as they've been looking for bumps, looking for demos on the backline to try and take that second Hurricanes player out of the equation. And the biggest thing for me is defensively, they're not letting one player beat both of them on the defensive rotations. They're getting themselves lined up so that if the first challenge doesn't work out, that ball gets a little bit loose, and there's a follow-up play to try and get it upfield back to mid and allow them to reset themselves. Although that's a big miss by Duke, and that's where it breaks down, Fallen. Chimpanzee from the parking lot will make it 1-0.
Great play there from Jay, the composure in the corner, then immediately capitalizing on the mistake there out of Duke. It's an open net opportunity. Sometimes they're the hardest to put away, but it took them nearly a half a game to find this first goal. Really, it's a completely different performance from both teams coming into game two. Neither really looking like their best selves, you could say.
I think the Blizzard have looked a lot better this game than they did through the first bits of game one. Test Gravity with one lurking off the crossbar. Jay looking for that dunk. Ed just gets enough of that to keep that away. But the Blizzard have looked better, but the second that first goal went in, it comes off a mistake, and now it just feels like it gave the Hurricanes a little bit more confidence and reminded them that they are, at least mechanically speaking right now, a little bit stronger, and they have those opportunities to do more with the ball. So for the Blizzard, they need to tighten this up. A 2-on-1 now as Test Gravity will go around Duke. It's a tough ass to defend that one, and it's 2-0.
I love how Test, you can see there that he has the opportunity to pass, decides, you know what, no, I'll do it myself. I'll just dribble around him, and then calls off Jay from taking the shot. He just says, no, I'm taking this goal. I did all of the work. Why would I give it to you? I want my stats to be higher. It's a very Test Gravity-minded thing to do, and fair play to him. When you're as good as he is, you're entitled to feel that way.
One tiny little thing, too, for the Blizzard that, again, broke down in the offensive corner. Both Ed and Duke ended up looking for that offensive corner boost. I believe it was Ed that needed it more. Duke got it, although speaking of getting it, Ed sneaks that one past. Still alive here. Blizzard make it 2-1.
Great touch there from Duke to get it past Chimpanjay and into the midfield. And then Ed, the placement, inch perfect, any closer to Chimpanjay's card. That one takes a touch and goes wide, but he slots it behind him. It's half the lead of the Hurricanes. The Blizzard are still in this game number 2. Playoff hopes still firmly alive. They just need to find another goal before we get to 0 seconds, and we may go to an overtime. Here's an opportunity, though, for the Hurricanes as they look to come forward. Jay looking for the touch in the midfield, couldn't find it towards Test Gravity now. Test Gravity will try and do it himself. That one's on target. Duke backwards and net will get the flick away. Here comes Chimpanjay off the ceiling. Gets the ceiling shot, but it's just punched away by Duke. Test Gravity on the recovery, though, will tee that one up for Chimpanjay, who will slot it home and break the hearts of the Blizzard fans.
Ed just diving out at that ball. Not really enough momentum in the car to challenge Test for that ball. Did enough to get it past the last defender. Jay recovering, able to swing that one in. And the Blizzard again behind by 2. This time, 57 seconds left. And you get the sense, Fallen, that the way this has started to develop, unless they get this one back quickly, they just might have gotten themselves in too deep of a hole to get out of. And speaking of too deep of a hole, Jay with one more. It's 4-1.
Jay just adding a shovel to the mix to help dig the hole deeper. A beautiful place shot there. As far post as you can get without hitting the post, I would say, on that one. A beautifully placed shot. And it all but secures game number 2 for the Hurricanes, and almost certainly secures their place in the playoffs for this coming season, or this season, not coming season. Season 12 is a completely different season. I'm muddling my words, but one thing that the Blizzard aren't doing is they aren't necessarily muddling their defensive touches. They're just not being able to work well enough on the offense to get past the Hurricanes as consistently as they'd like.
I think their opportunities really did come from when they get them in transition from the offensive side for the Hurricanes towards their defensive end. Those are the big opportunities to really kind of make something happen, because we've seen out of the Hurricanes their mechanical ability. You think back to that last shot by Jay, the way they're able to get their car around that ball and hold the flip long enough to project that ball goalward while all the car's momentum is away from that shot. So mechanically speaking, you're going to have to find openings where you just simply beat them because you do something they're not expecting. And unfortunately, the Blizzard, in this case, they held them for half the game, but not long enough. And with that, their playoff hopes are ended.
Yeah, and with that, the Hurricanes will join the Eclipse in the playoffs for this division. I believe it's the Storm division, if I'm remembering it correctly. But looking now to the battle for first in this division, because it's a story we haven't really touched on that much. The Eclipse are going up against, I do not remember who the Eclipse are going up against. Give me a moment, I will find it. Lightning. They're playing the Lightning, and if they can pull off a 4-1 victory, if the Eclipse can beat the Lightning 4-1, they will remain top of their division regardless of the result that the Hurricanes come up with. But with the way they've been performing, the Hurricanes look set for maybe a 5-0 sweep here already. They have been consistently outpacing and just outshooting the Blizzard to a point where it's very impossible for the Blizzard to really get themselves into the games. But the Hurricanes, they need to get a 2-game advantage over the Eclipse to take top spot in the division. Honestly, it looks like this one is going in the favor of a 5-0, and they will move closer to securing that position.
Well, thinking about it too, the Eclipse have the game against the Lightning on the... I think it's also going on simultaneously with this one, if my scheduling is correct. And you think about that, that's top team in the division against bottom team in the division. It almost has the same recipe that we're seeing here with a team that's on the verge of securing playoffs, and indeed having it done as Ed looks to respond here. Great control coming off the kickoff on this one. Just gets the wrong side of the ball of Jay and is able to sneak that one in, forcing both Hurricanes players actually into the team pinch to put that one in. And you get the sense, Fallen, that right now might be the most dangerous time for the Hurricanes and wanting to take that division lead, because now the Blizzard have nothing left to do but play spoiler here. And if I'm the Hurricanes here, I'm hoping that my killer instinct is ready to be dusted off and put back in the SNES, because this is where you need to make things happen, as Test Gravity will get one over top of the reaching defenders for the Blizzard.
Yeah, that's exactly what he needed to do there. Buries it just under the bar again. The placement has been everything but, well, everything and sublime. It has been almost inch perfect for every single shot the Gravity and Chimp and Jay have put on the board, but really, I don't even know what you do if you're the Blizzard coming up against this roster, as Test Gravity off the kickoff will make it 2-1.
Yeah, unfortunately, the cheat up on that play not quite working out, as the Hurricanes able to drill that one with a lot of power into the defensive corner for the Blizzard. Ed tracking it back, couldn't do much, but to touch back on what you were saying, I don't really know what you can do here except to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and go, you know what, at least we could maybe make it harder for them to win the division. At least we could take some of this away. I think it really just starts with not letting yourself get caught up in the moment against these types of players. There's not a lot to choose from in PL. The salary ranges, the MMR ranges, most of them from peak values from last season, they were kind of close. I mean, Test Gravity's been as high as 2,200 in twos. He's really good at twos. Jay's really good as an individual player, but good team play will beat that. And speaking of good team play, the Hurricanes fail to capitalize in front of the Blizzard net, and they'll go all the way back to make it 2-2.
Yeah, Jay with a not-so-good touch there, and it just left Duke enough time to get in front of him, hit that ball over the top of him, and send it into the back of the net to tie this game up. We're not even a minute into game number 3, and the Blizzard are really putting the Hurricanes on notice here. They're saying, yeah, this our playoff hopes are over, but the series ain't over. We want to cause spoiler. We want to take 3 if we can. And really, they're looking pretty strong here in game number 3, if I can get my numbers right. I swear I was educated. But right now, they're looking to try and get on offense. Ed will go forward, and Jay will almost bait him out there with the backflip, just makes him go too high. Now, the Hurricanes are going to try and go forward, but just not the touch there from Test. Couldn't get it past Duke, who will now look to try and get it past everyone. I feel like Jay is just almost toying with them slightly. He's not really going to hit the ball half the time.
Like I said, there might be a touch of complacency creeping into the Hurricanes at this point. They're not really treating the Blizzard with the respect that might be due of a team that may be out of the playoffs race, and there's still something to play for the Hurricanes. You know, job not done yet for them.
Yeah, and now as the Hurricanes start mounting offense, low boost in the core of the Blizzard. A good beat there from Test Gravity, but he'll be bumped away, so he can't challenge this one. Now Duke will get a good flick to the midfield, and as Ed rotates back, the dunk from Jay almost teed up a shot there for the Hurricanes, but instead, Ed with a quick turnaround will get a goal here for the Blizzard. They take their second lead in game number 3.
Big bump as well by Duke contesting the midfield boost. And Jay was a little narrow to that challenge. Had a chance to try and get there. Didn't quite get the flip right. Ed's shot on target. The Blizzard lead for the first time since the start of this game, where they got the opening goal. And they haven't led much this series so far, and we'll see if they're able to actually hold it here. As, again, the Hurricanes, they have that ability to come back. Test Gravity getting bumped out of midair by Duke. That one saving a sure goal.
Yeah, the physical play has been the saving grace of the Blizzard here in game number 3. We've seen it not once but twice now. do enough to keep Test Gravity away from doing something magical with the ball. But now, he's got time. He's got possession. He's coming up the midfield with the air dribble attempt. Can he find the back of the net? No, Duke's there with a good challenge, but Jay's there with the rebound. Will send it top corner to tie the game up.
You think both Hurricanes, they're double committing. Jay actually opts out of that one, recovers down, and as both players end up in the double commit looking for the aerial block, it's Jay picking up the scramps to go after that one. That's a sign of a twos team that, in theory, should be communicating. You know, we talked a little bit about chemistry with individual players and their ability to just make something happen out of nothing, both on their own. How much you have to kind of rein yourself in sometimes playing twos, playing threes, so that you can't express yourself as much individually. I think right now for the Hurricanes, that discipline might be necessary, as they're still not out of this one yet.
Yeah, I feel like the flashy plays they have to be narrowed down to only a select few, because they're not really doing enough on defense to keep the Blizzard out. And here's a sign of it. Ed will get a goal again off of, I think, a mistouch here from Jimpan J, not able to find enough of the ball to keep it out. Ed will get his hat trick, and the Blizzard, that's 3 leads now in this game. Is this the third time the charm for them?
Well, still plenty of time left to happen. Just over 100 seconds to go in this one. You get the sense that Jay knew what they were trying to do. It was trying to take an air dribble up off the backboard. And I think the first touch just got a little bit away. As Test Gravity's clear, will hit Jay on the backboard. Duke lurking, won't be able to convert that one. I really think it's important for the Blizzard to get a 2-goal lead here, Fallen. Is a big block by Jay. Down to Test Gravity. Ed will come across for the save. Haven't seen a ton of those really coming out in recent memory from the Blizzard. They're up to 5 now on the set as Test Gravity with a backflip. And then a bump on Duke, but Jay aggressively flipping into that. Wasn't able to take it clean. Still with possession is... They won't quite find the final touch. The Blizzard able to clear that away. And this is the danger we see out of these individual plays. The opportunity for the Blizzard to convert are there. Duke trying to track it off the bar. Can't keep up with it. And Jay will read that one in for the 4-4 goal.
How do you keep up with this level of play from Jay? As soon as he landed, straight back up, reads it off of the crossbar and in. A brilliant play from a, I would say, world-class level player. And I think I would be correct in my assumption. The mechanical skill from Jay is something that is almost commonplace in Premier League, but you cannot understate how good his players are. But there is a mistake from him to really sort of balance it back out, and Ed will find the back of the net. The Blizzard lead again. The
good dunk against Test Gravity. Inexplicable miss by Jay on that. Had so much more time than I think really was taken on that one. With that miss, the Blizzard lead for the 4th time, Fallen. How many times are we going to talk about this one? The Hurricanes give up a goal, the Blizzard take advantage of it, then the Hurricanes answer right back with a bit of individual skill. It's like this game was written to be played on repeat.
And right now, the Blizzard looking to take this one forward. Can they find a way to get it away from Jay? No, Jay will look to control it off his own backboard. Now carrying it up in the air. Test Gravity waiting for the touch. Doesn't get there. Ed goes over the top of both of them, but off of the sidewall, that one wasn't on target. Now, Hurricanes trying to build from their own half. Pass forward up the field, but Duke is going to be there to read it. Good dunk from Jay, but it'll only go to the far corner. 10 seconds remain. The Hurricanes need to find a goal to take this one at overtime. Can they do it? That one's teed up in front of the net. Test Gravity will tee it off the crossbar, and Jay will slot it home with a second remaining on the clock. The Hurricanes will tie this one. We're going to overtime.
The Blizzard, unfortunately, caught out by one player getting past both challenges. Duke diving in, gets beat by Test Gravity, and then a follow-up to take Ed out of the play. Leaves that one open for Jay, although a heroic effort by Duke, almost recovering that one. Now, can the Blizzard hold serve? Can they take this one 6-5 in OT? Or are the Hurricanes' individual skills going to be enough to do it? It might start off here. Test Gravity, the long, difficult ball. It's Ed, not clear yet, still on the doorstep. And a team effort by the Blizzard will get it clear for the moment. Still out of danger. Oh. Duke is well coming off the sidewall. Keeps this one intact for the Blizzard. And here's the opportunity to convert. They don't take enough of it. It's going to be back and forth now here in overtime.
Yeah, but I feel like we're already coming to the end of this overtime. Jay's shot just pinched wide. Duke with a great recovery there, but the Hurricanes, they're just outpacing them now. They're trying to style on them here at the end of game number 3. Test Gravity waiting, waits for the challenge a little too long. A double commit on defense, but Ed will clear it away. Now, 45 seconds on the clock. Jay now with a chance to run it downfield, but no boost to speak of at the time. Now has it. Looks for the center pass. Test Gravity is there, but can't control it past Duke. Ed will clear this one long. It's back and forth tennis-style gameplay as both teams send the ball at each other, looking to see if we can just get it to touch the ground twice and into the back of the net. But right now it's Jay, all by himself, looking for something fancy. Can't find a way past Ed. It's still, without a goal here in this overtime, possibly the longest we've gone in this series without seeing a goal.
Oh, a big demo by Ed, but a follow-up by Chimpanjay will take away a sure goal for the Blizzard. It's not quite the longest stretch of scoreless Rocket League we've seen. We're getting there as another 60 seconds will bring us right up against that, but everything throwing at both ends of the pitch here. It's another demo by Duke. Ed won't get the first touch, slows it down, looking for the air dribble. Test Gravity in a tough spot. One touch is there. Duke can't follow it up. Jay will recover as we get just shy of 2 minutes here in overtime.
That might be the touch to seal it. Test Gravity now with an open net. We'll just let it roll in. A great challenge there in his own half. Sent the ball flying up the field. Nothing the Blizzard could do. The Hurricanes take game number 3.
It was all the Blizzard could do on that one. Ed just didn't quite get the angle on the challenge, and sometimes that's the danger when you're the second player in the rotation and you want to take that shot, you want to play hero in the moment. It just slams into a waiting Test Gravity who is so good at lining up the car for a 50 and just controlling where that challenge goes. It's a sign of, again, a really mechanically skilled player to just kind of understand in the moment where you need to roll your car's hitbox to guide that ball exactly where you need to do. And, you know, hats off to the Blizzard. It was an effort, and it came within a second of being enough to steal the game away in this series.
Yeah, just one overcommit on defense cost them there. And really, if you look at the stats for that game, you have Ed and Duke with a total of 9 shots, Test Gravity and Chimpanjay with a total of 15. There was a huge deficit on the offensive pressure, but the Blizzard were able to capitalize on more mistakes than the Hurricanes were during regular time. It's just that the Hurricanes had too much overwhelming pressure by the end of it to really go without getting a third game win here. And as they look forward now to game number 4, the Hurricanes are moving ever closer to taking that top spot in the Storm division, and really I feel like it's theirs for the taking at this point.
It really is. We talked about it at length kind of in the build-up to this. It really does come down to, do the Hurricanes want this bad enough? And if they do, they should find a way through. But the Blizzard are not going quietly. And that is, I think, the biggest challenge for the Hurricanes right now is that they don't let the Blizzard get back into it. Although a mistake from Ed off that bounce, Test Gravity will turn that one in.
That's just rude from Test Gravity. With all due respect, just reads the touch after the missed touch on the sidewall, sends it home. 5 seconds gone. Feels like we might be getting a repeat of game number 1, considering this is the exact time they did before. Test Gravity now maybe looking to double the lead immediately.
Good wait by Ed, though. Not diving in at that one early enough. And again, the Blizzard just need to not let the Hurricanes have that type of control and that ability to beat them.
Yeah, and right now, looking to try and get some control themselves. The demo onto Test Gravity to try and start things up, but just too much time wasted trying to control the ball, and now they find themselves in a 1v2 situation on defense. That ball will go up. Jay cannot find the angle, though, but will just remove the ball from the pressure zone, and now Ed looking for a flick, immediately dunked by Test Gravity. Jay now looking for a shot, maybe a double tap, finds the double, but Duke's there for the save. A great save from him to keep that one out, and now a counter-attack possibility for Ed. He's going up a good 50 from Jay, though, will keep that out. The ability for all of these players to rotate so quickly on offense into defense and vice versa has really just been phenomenal to watch. The level of just control of their cars, their rotations, and at times just in general, everything to do with their gameplay is flowing so smoothly. It's like watching a cinematic, less a game.
It really is, and a lot of that is just repetition, repetition, repetition. We watch these guys in the warm-up lobby. A lot of them are just simply practicing controlling their car, not even trying to hit the ball, just getting their car lined up properly so that their recovery goes optimally. They maintain as much momentum as possible in their cars so that they can conserve their boost for the more intricate types of movement that they need it for. And that really just goes to show you that as you develop yourself in terms of skill, mechanics are easy to learn because you can just sit there and repeat it time and time again. What sets these players apart, though, is their ability to read the play in real time, to process the information around them, to set things up like that. Test Gravity going for the lead pass, sees where the Blizzard are on the field. They're both kind of in this pocket that Jay's able to split them. So the lead pass is perfectly on option for them. Chimpanzee, seeing Test Gravity on the lead, chips it up at a great height to get the redirect in, and right on the stroke of 3 minutes left in Game 4, it's 2-0.
The 1-2 for that 2-goal lead, and really, they have looked the better side. There has been very few opportunities where the Blizzard have looked their equal so far. Game number 3 being maybe the only one so far in this series, and really Test Gravity is just sort of rubbing it home now, beating out Ed and just letting the ball roll in off of that shot. It's just, this is the level of domination we expected to see out of this roster when the draft happened, and they've been a little disappointing this season in the fact that we haven't seen that level of consistency in their results. But when the games really matter, when everything is on the line and they need to pull out results, they find a way to get games, and really they are showing exactly why they are a team to be feared going into the playoffs this season.
I think it'll be an interesting matchup to see how the playoffs shake out if they end up playing the Eclipse in the rematch from the division matchups there, because the Eclipse were the roster that really did push the Hurricanes and challenge them in more ways than one, both on the field and in the standings in the Storm division. And I think it's an intriguing story for both of these teams moving into the playoffs to see how they're going to stack up head-to-head in a best-of-5, or potentially even a best-of-7.
Yeah, the Eclipse are one of those teams that not many power ranking committee members saw them as too much of a strong playoff potential team. They saw them as maybe second fiddle at times to the Hurricanes, but both times they've met, the Eclipse have had the number of the best team in the quote-unquote best team in the division come draft day. And right now, the Eclipse, they sit at top of the table. They just need to pull out a result against a team that they've already beaten this season in the Lightning, and they're dead set for top of their division, because the way things are going, it doesn't look like the Blizzard are going to be putting up much of a fight next weekend, as they now go 5-0 down to the Hurricanes.
Unfortunately, through that whole conversation, the Hurricanes looping from midfield back in against the Blizzard, that ball stapled to the Blizzard end of Utopia Coliseum. And you get the sense, Fallen, that there's a statement made here by the Hurricanes, but I don't think you and I are too convinced by it. If we're looking at the balance of play, yes, the Hurricanes are dominating, but it looks like at times they're toying with an opponent that they feel is inferior. And you just get the sense that without that discipline, without that ability to erase complacency, then there is a real danger of this team not succeeding in their playoff run.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. They've gotten complacent in this series. They've made a couple of mistakes looking for those flashy mechanical plays. And right now, there's another one there. Good play there from Duke to tee up Ed, but couldn't find a way past the last defender. And a good demo there from Ed on the rotation back. Duke almost gets baited out by his own teammate. Ed really didn't make the save, but will do so. But time and time again, you've seen them double commit. No double commit there, just one man and the ball. Test Gravity sends that one home. That was a thumping double touch.
Absolutely. It was actually a triple when you factor in the setup play at midfield, but none of the Blizzard players able to do anything about that. And it came down to boost. All of their boosts spent tracking back, trying to take away the 1-2 play between the Hurricanes with the demo. As soon as that happened, they ran out of boost and they couldn't really turn the ball and keep possession. It just let Test Gravity respawn, get control of it at midfield, and set up that Play of the Week candidate.
Yeah, really, if you do think that clip is worthy of a Play of the Week, as I personally do, feel free to clip that and send it over to the Discord or the Twitter with the hashtag Play of the Week into, if you're in the Discord, the Play of the Week channel, or over at MLE Esports GG on Twitter. Any clips will get submitted. You get one clip per person, and if that clip does end up winning Play of the Week, the winner will receive a case of Balls Guarana, a beautiful drink that I absolutely adore, and I still need to get my case of at some point. But now, as Game 4 comes to an end, the Blizzard find themselves looking to stop the sweep in Game 5. They're 4 games down. The Hurricanes looking ever so dominant and ever so like the Premier League team we were expecting them to be at the beginning of the season.
This being the most dominant performance by the Hurricanes in this set so far, and it's almost as if the nagging by us in their ear might be finally starting to grow a little bit of a wing and get inside their head. There is they put up 13 shots to 4 against the Blizzard, but a lot of those put off of the woodwork fall, and you get the sense that a team like that, despite the mechanical consistency, despite the ability to just put that ball on net, on frame, that if they're not getting that efficiency down against better teams, these scorelines might not be going their way as effectively.
Yeah, we've seen it time and time again in series where they're considered a 50-50 matchup. They've found a way to just not come away with that victory. A team has been able to exploit their offensive shortcomings and turn that into a defensive disaster. Both players looking mainly out for their own stats at times, it feels like, and looking for that flashy play that will be able to go into a montage for to showcase that they're a good player on a team. Really, we've seen them prove that, however, they are fully deserving of being some of the best players in the Premier League. And as we get the players ready for game number 5, I predicted a 4-1. I'm hoping now that I'm able to have that prediction come true. I want to see the Blizzard come out firing in this game. It's exactly what they need to do as this kickoff gets underway. Can the Blizzard find a way to send this one home with a game win to their name?
Not quite the way they wanted to start that as Duke off the kickoff. It was a good kickoff attempt by Ed, popping that up, caught the Hurricanes off guard, but Duke missing the ball at midfield kind of made that chance go by the wayside. We've seen enough out of the Blizzard to think they have what it takes to take a game here to make your prediction come true, and a lot of that is going to come down to just dialing it back in, doing things right, getting to the fundamentals correct, not letting yourself get beat at midfield. Test Gravity looking for another one on the highlight reel, but a great save by Duke keeps us scoreless here with just about 35 seconds gone in Game 5.
Yeah, great job there to keep that one out, but the Blizzard looking to play that aggressive style. Demo in the midfield there from Duke onto Chimpanjay, but Test Gravity has all the time, all the boost, all the space, looking for the double tap, can't find it, but a good challenge there from Ed will beat out Chimpanjay in the midfield, and with just over a minute, or just under a minute gone, the Blizzard have their first lead since Game 3.
This is the danger with two individual players sometime. One person goes for a huge highlight reel play. The second player commits, expecting it to be a little bit easier than it is. It's a great dunk by Ed, but a better recovery too, to keep that car momentum forward, to get all 4 wheels on the ground and beat the Hurricanes back to that ball. It's important to note because if we've seen it. We've seen the Hurricanes recover all the way back off a play like that and take away a sure goal. What a clear, though, by Duke. It's off the post. Jay has a good line to clear it away. But that's what you have to do against players like this that want to set up individual plays. Just be a little bit better defensively. That's not good enough by Duke, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, I love how Test Gravity here. You think he's going to take forever, but just decides to flick it early, and Ed with the side flip can't get up for that one. Test Gravity will find the back of the net once again. He is the top goal scorer in MLE for a reason, and right now he's really bolstering that account with all of those goals, really pushing on for maybe the goal scorer of the season here in Premier League. But there is a chance for Ed almost getting it in, but Duke there for the follow-up off the crossbar. 2-1, the Blizzard take back their lead.
I was thinking about this a little bit here, and you get the sense that Ed coming in as a reserve had a tough ask all the time. This was always going to be a difficult matchup for them, especially so bringing in a reserve for the Blizzard. But Ed is, I think, past most of the tests with flying colors. Yes, you're down 4-0 in the set. Yes, you're struggling to keep a lead at any point of this series. But for what I've been seeing, Ed's been a little bit more effective in a lot of ways compared to Duke. That one, a big double commit, though, by both of the Blizzard players. Test Gravity will walk it in. But you think about what tried to get set up here. Ed looked for the bump in front of the net. It just wasn't quite good enough from Duke to put that ball in a spot that the Hurricanes couldn't recover it effectively. The idea is there. The execution, just not so much.
Yeah. And really, that's sort of been a case for the Blizzard on offense for the majority of this series. They've been trying to set up these players where they take a player out and then they go on offense 2-on-1. But time and time again, they found themselves having to hoof the ball forward. Chimpanjay with a good save there, I believe, off of the respawn, able to keep that one out. But they've just sort of not been able to fundamentally beat out the Hurricanes without the Hurricanes having made a prior mistake. That is sort of the problem we've seen. They've not been able to create chances, only to take the ones they are gifted, as Jay almost creates an absolute wondrous goal there, but could not find the angle. And the Blizzard will be allowed to clear this one back down the field, if only for a moment.
That's kind of the danger when you have players that, on a mechanical level, are in two different worlds, essentially. You have Jay and Test Gravity, who both have beautiful mastery over the mechanics of their car. And then you have Duke and Ed that, while individually skilled players on their own, I mean, it just kind of illustrates my point. You've got Ed and Duke who are not necessarily poor with mechanics, but they're just not as skilled as the players they're up against. So the only opportunities you're going to find are those ones that the Hurricanes are going to make a mistake on, because the consistency is just so high at this point.
Yeah, to follow on from your point, I am not saying for a second that Ed and Duke, or neither of us are saying that Ed and Duke are bad at mechanics. They are mechanically very solid players, and there is no doubt about it. The only difference is the Hurricanes just seem to be that much better. Almost consistently. The things they're able to do with the ball, even with no boost here, as Test almost gets it past both of them, just proving my point. It feels like there hasn't been, in the case of these players, Jay looking for the read off the backboard, couldn't find it. I think Test was also up for that one. It feels like they have a level of mechanical skills that is almost foreign to the highest level. It's a consistent part of the highest levels of Rocket League, but it's something almost foreign to the Blizzard, who are just looking for those consistent, not flashy, not spectacular plays, just the ones that will get the job done.
But that's exactly the recipe you want against a team like this. You want to just do the fundamentals right, because it's when you don't that you get scored on by a player that's able to exploit those little nuances in the gameplay. And this really is true for every level of Rocket League throughout minor league esports. One mechanical player will often be good enough to exploit the tiniest bits of space that a mistake is able to create. So by dialing in your fundamentals, by being just a little bit more efficient with your own possession, with your own decision making, it takes away a lot of the dominance that a singularly mechanically skilled player will be able to extract from a game.
Good beat there from Duke, trying to tee up Ed. It's still 2-2, with 20 seconds now remaining. Chimpanzee looking to force this one past Ed. He will do, but he's run out of boost in the process. Duke will look to try and clear it away. He gets dunked on the sidewall by Test Gravity, and a good jumping save there from Ed to keep it out. The pressure's starting to mount here for the Hurricanes. The rotations are clean. Now looking for maybe a pass into the midfield. No, Test will do it himself, right under the crossbar. Seal that Game 5 win, and the Hurricanes, they have looked dominant, and that is just a symbol of how good they are.
It's one loose touch from Ed. The first touch, not enough control on it, left Duke on an island in the net. Test Gravity with the boost, able to pinch that one back into the corner, able to put Duke in a tough spot, walk it essentially in an open net. That one touches the ground. The Hurricanes sweep their division rivals in the Blizzard. They confirm that they'll, at least for the moment, take first spot in the Storm division. Still to be decided, though, as the Eclipse and the Lightning will be playing a little bit later today. The Blizzard, a valiant effort, not quite good enough to take anything away from the Hurricanes. And that one, I think, is a tough one to swallow with how much was on the line here.
Yeah, the Blizzard looking to at least get 4 games out of that series, otherwise they would find themselves eliminated, but already eliminated by the end of Game 2. That is very difficult to swallow, especially considering how they've got players on this team who have looked so good this season. Players like Yeezy and Matty Bananas, who are almost leading some season leaderboards. Yeezy being the second highest in saves, only behind Trash Fan of the Sharks. The level of quality on this team is fundamentally one of the best teams in Premier League. If they were given any other division, I feel like they could give a good run for the money to get into the playoffs, but they were paired up against the Eclipse and the Hurricanes, who are almost on a completely different level in the playoff in terms of just ability, in terms of mechanical skill. And really, congratulations to the Hurricanes. They moved to a 30-15 record with that win, taking top spot by 2 games currently. We await the result of the Eclipse Lightning matchup now to determine who is taking the lead going into that final week and who has that advantage as they both square off against each other's opponents for Week 12. But that is not all for today. We do have one more series coming up for you. with me and Jay casting it. And Jay, you know which one that is.
I do. We're going to go over to the Academy League. It's the top of the Volcanic Division as the Elite will take on the Bulls. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Minor League Esports here live on Twitch.tv. Stay with us.